So we're supposed to study abroad in Madrid come 2021, but who knows on that with what's going on in the world right now. Me, specifically talking about the unpleasantness, not more recent unpleasantness, but anyways, here's what I'm putting a pin in for the short term and the long term. How's everybody doing out there? It's Lindsay back again. This time we are talking about Europe. And so, again, this might not be quite like in a true order, but number one, like, there are you might figure out like what counts as number one, but there's gonna be some more surprises on that list as well. So, starting off with number 10 is Olympia Looping, which is a roller coaster. It travels around Europe, and over the past years, it's been making a stop at Hyde Park Winter Wonderland in London. So, in my plan, I was thinking of studying abroad in Madrid. I would fly in New Year's Day into London and spend a few days there. So hopefully, I would go to Hyde Park Winter Wonderland and ride Olympia Looping. Start off 2021, pretty much. I haven't gone to a park on New Year's Day ever before. And I really had, like, the most closest to that was my last visit to Great Adventure after Christmas in 2020, just because they gave out a pass on Black Friday, so we could come back and use that again through the end of holiday in the park. But yeah, another big thing in Hyde Park and London and all that is Alton Towers. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, which kind of makes it cool, and the only choice would be to stay on site. So it feels definitely like a 2.5 day park. Probably because I would like to see the gardens as well. With that, as well as getting everything a few times, because I don't know when I'll be back, and this would be something I planned as being like the end of it, either going up to Manchester or something, trying to get back with whatever airport I can get with minimal cost change for a return trip back after my study abroad. Another thing on this list is Park Asterix, and the Asterix characters are French comic book characters. So I feel like since my mom would be one to come over there, I feel she would definitely get a lot out of Park Asterix, more so than other parks on this list because of the theming, and she knows French because my grandmother was born in Paris, actually, so that's one of the reasons why that city is on this list. But we'll get a few more beyond those big two in a bit. So, the parks in Garda. I had a lunch stop in Garda, not quite exactly sure where. I know there was like a castle. It's on the footage and pictures that I had, but I'm not sure which castle it is or which town. It was like anything like the bus park near like a gas station or something like that. Like there was like a tunnel under the road, and like at the far end of the entrance to the town was like a huge park area, and it's not fairly open, like main road, I'd say, with like a few shops around, and then like the piers coming off, and old style architecture. I don't know if the video, the shot of the guy and maybe his wife playing some music helps narrow it down a bit. I don't know. I might be posting those at some point. Like, I started my summer course, which is Screenwriting 1, on the day I'm recording this, so I might do that quickly instead of working on the agency tales during this time, and then just push this stuff back. So I have hopefully made something in September, because that'll be a huge transition period. But yeah, anyways, a weird one on this list is Psyche Underground. Like, we have Monsoon's Revenge at Knott's Berry Farm. Same thing, but completely enclosed. I wish it still had, like, a chain lift backward, but it has a launch, so more of like a modern launch. So, yeah, indoor versus outdoor. Looks a bit more interesting to me than Montezuma's Revenge. to be honest. But another big one for me is, since I grew up with Lego, would be to visit the original in Billund. I've seen a lot of the coasters, which are fairly unique. Dragon is a power coaster there. And then you have Polar X. Then they have the Wild Mouse rides at the U.S. parks, which I haven't ridden. Then you got a new kiddie coaster in the western area. They also have Ghost of Haunted House in the western area, and that's a drop tower. They have Ninjago ride like the U.S. parks do. They have 3, and like the area isn't really as themed compared to the others. But I feel like the Fire Academy they have really just doesn't fit in, because Portland used to be Lego City there until they had Polar Explorer, and now it's part of Adventureland. But it'd probably be better if they were themed. I've said that a lot. But they have the Lego house there, so do a few days in Billund. I think I'm doing that as part of like a more northern European trip, along with Hans Park and Groenland and Linnenmaki, Kolmarden, Liseberg. What else do we count toward that? I also include like parts from Copenhagen, but I didn't put that on this list because even though Tivoli is kind of up there, didn't really think about it when writing this down. And Bakken is also very old, so there is some history of that park too. But Phantasialand, that's very caliber theming, and they have a Terran, and they'll be opening the first launched flying coaster some point in the very near future called Fly. At this point, I think they'll push it back to 2021. Get something off my chest is the parks in Poland, Energylandia and Legendia. I hope to get over there at some point, but I just feel they're kind of getting overrated, so that's why I'm not really focused on getting those ASAP. But like Fantasia, another fairly well-themed park is Europa Park, even though people say their top 2 are not Mox, Silver Star, which is their B&M Hyper, and Woden, which is a GCI. I don't know, but it does sound like they're planning on doing a huge expansion in the near future, coming off the heels of Rolantica and the replacing the Pirates in Batavia. Hopefully, I think they're saying hopefully new coaster as well. Maybe it's like a new world's first model. But like Legoland, Europa Park is intended to showcase Mox products. I already mentioned for cities Paris and London, but Rome, I didn't visit that on American Music Abroad. We went down to Florence, and then we hooked back up through Bologna to about Terme, and then we went out to Venice before hooking up to Garda and into Austria. Barcelona, I think looking on there, it's probably easier to fly probably right now than to use high-speed rail, but as long as Spain didn't put those projects on hold due to COVID-19, but it's probably very likely because Italy's nearby. You don't know how important it is on their in terms of required necessary construction. That might still be the best case scenario from Madrid, or just waiting, because this would include Tibidado as well with Barcelona and seeing some of the sites there, but also with doing it with Portaventura, but it's 90 minutes south, so it probably do it as its own thing. There's a train station near the park, so might be able to figure something out with that. But unless it was at the tail end where we would go in and explore Barcelona, and then I'd be able to just fly back from there and would have to skip towers and asterisks for the time being. But also Vienna. I think some tours do go over to Vienna. I think Chaz, his trip went to Vienna. I think the last trip of the Bronze Tour did Vienna, so that would include Prater. That'd be the main reason to do that. But